Hello everyone, in this video I'll show you how to use ESLint in Visual Studio Code for JavaScript projects. ESLint is a linter that integrates with Visual Studio Code to automatically check for errors in our code. To start, go to Extensions in Visual Studio Code and install the ESLint extension. Then, from the terminal, use npm install-geslint to install ESLint globally. Afterward, run ESLint-init to initialize the linter. This command will prompt you with a series of questions. Choose to check for syntax errors and problems, use JavaScript modules, avoid any frameworks or TypeScript, specify that your code will run in the browser, and select the JavaScript format for the config file. This setup generates an ESLint-rc.js file in your directory containing configuration information. Next, install the HTML plugin for ESLint. Go to the plugins page and run the command npm install html-eslint-parseres-lint-plugin-html. Once installed, configure VS Code by adding some overrides in the ESLint-rc.js file and also in settings.json. Refer to the HTML ESLint extension documentation for the necessary settings. These configurations will activate the HTML plugin. Now, let's check an example HTML file. If you open the output panel, you should see that the ESLint server library has loaded. In the Problems tab, or directly in the code, ESLint will display any issues it detects. Let's restart Visual Studio Code, and now if you introduce intentional mistakes, like deleting certain lines, you'll see the extension highlighting issues, such as missing doc types. To further enhance our checks, enable TypeScript support. This can be done by modifying settings.json and ESLint-rc.js. With TypeScript checks enabled, you'll notice errors for type-related issues. For example, if you try to assign an array of strings to a string variable, ESLint will flag this as a type mismatch. Suppose you want to merge these array items into a single string to meet the expected format in inner HTML. Simply use .join to combine them, and the error should disappear. Let's look at another example. If you have a variable that's a pure number and a constant that's a string, the type-checking feature will warn you that comparing a number and a string is invalid. Here, you can resolve the issue by typecasting to unify the types. Errors may still slip through. For instance, if you accidentally enter an incorrect attribute value, you may not get an immediate warning. To catch these types of issues, consider adding type definitions at the top of your file. By defining that your data should be an array of objects, each with specific properties, for example, ID as a number and name as a string, ESLint can better identify discrepancies. Initially, type checking might feel complex. You'll need to determine your preferred level of type checking. As you grow comfortable with JavaScript, you might consider transitioning to TypeScript where type enforcement is stronger, ultimately helping you catch more issues early in your coding process. If this video helped you out, feel free to buy me a coffee using the link in the description. This will support the channel so I can keep making more videos like this.